What's up, friends? Welcome to Chaos Live number 41. So welcome with the background music kind of going here in the background. Get some ambience to this whole thing. Welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out with me on this Sunday evening. Starting a little bit earlier than normal, so I don't know, just trying to different times, I guess, whatever, however it goes. So welcome the notification platoon, as I like to call it, because you probably got some kind of notification to tell you ThatChrisChaos was going live. So we got a huge Mungus, we got Elite Archer, Jalen, Hop Legend, SL Foxtrot, Lovable Xena, Naz, I don't know how you'd say it, Smule 1748, Amanda, Joseph, Vic, Foxtrot Delta 18, Alberto, Bright Bomber, T-Dog's in the house, Hawkeye Johnson, Shepherd, Dennis, we got Joseph, we got Danny, all sorts of awesome people. Skechers Kid Gaming, I already said Skechers Kid Gaming, I think. Welcome. So if you have questions about the Army, life in general, I mean, whatever, just not politics. I hate politics. I'm against talking about politics. I don't pay attention enough to it to give any kind of educated answers to it. I prefer, if you have questions about the Army, then I can help answer that. Joseph, thanks for subscribing and joining the Chaos Army. But I prefer to, talk about Army stuff, my experience, and, help you out if you're interested in that stuff, or just other random stuff. So I look to the chat to see what we got going on and see what kind of stuff we have happening in the chat. We got Jacob trying to tell people to subscribe to PewDiePie. The battle is real against T-Series. Gotta take him on, take him out, or subscribe to ThatChrisChaos. I mean, I'd probably prefer that, but my first stream, Danny Roberts. Welcome to Chaos Live. We got a virgin streamer, I guess, a virgin to the stream. I don't know how you would kind of a newbie, a buck private. I don't know. Can you give a shout out to my brother? He's in 11th ACR. Well, shout out to your brother. So there you go. How about that? Let's looking through. Sorry, I was playing Clash of Clans. Skechers Kid Gaming. No, I don't think I've ever played that game. How do you become a ranger in the Army? Well, just thankfully I have a video on RASP, like Skechers Kid Gaming says attend RASP. There's a video after the live stream. If you want to look through my channel, I have a video that talks about the process of going to become a ranger in the Army. What do you know about Fort Stewart? Not a lot. I don't think I've ever been there. No, I've never been there, so I don't really know anything about Fort Stewart. Is it good practice being in the Army while I'm 13 because I want to be in the Army as soon as I leave high school? Is it good to practice being in the Army? I mean, 13 is still probably really early, so you probably have a lot of time still. So, I mean, it's probably a little early. I mean, you could still do stuff, sure, to help maintain, like, being in good shape and maybe getting educated on stuff. I mean, that probably still helps, but you still got plenty of time to kind of get prepared. But I guess it's never too early, so. We got what is that? Yuska says this is also the first stream. Well, awesome. Welcome to Chaos Live. You're my hero. Well, thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. Agree. That's right. So we'll set a goal of 50. I would like to see if we can get to 50 likes before the stream ends. So I usually do this for about an hour. So the goal is, let's see if we can get this stream to 50 likes before we end. I know Matt Ward, I was watching a little bit of Matt Ward's live stream earlier. It was ridiculous. He had like 100 and something people in there, and he had like 100 likes within the first like 20 minutes or something like that. But hey, he's crushing it. He's killing it. Props to him. So, Jay the Vorn's in here. What's happening, Jay the Vorn? Welcome. We got quite a couple of moderators. So that's good. That's good. My question is, how would you go about becoming a 18 Alpha? Whether that's enlisting first or going to college. Well, that's a Special Forces MOS. So, I mean, you can't. There's no guaranteed as far as what 18 series MOS you're going to get, because it's going to be decided pretty much for you when you're in the Q course if you make it that far. So, there's no guaranteed route to get 18 Alpha specifically. You can do the option 18 to go into the Army and try to get into the Special Forces straight off the bat, but you still have to make selection. You still have to get approved to go in, and then when you're in the Q course, they'll decide what MOS in the Special Forces you're going to fall into, but there's no real guarantee of getting 18 Alpha. And then going college just depends on if you want to be an officer or enlisted, really. So, Future Soldier Program or Delayed Program, how does that work? I don't know a whole lot about the Future Soldier Program. My experience with the Delayed Entry Program was very different than like most common people go through now, because my recruiting station was in a completely different city, because I'm from such a small town. But like Delayed Entry Program is kind of somewhat similar to the Future Soldier Program. I feel like the Future Soldier Program, from what I've seen of it, because I never did the Future Soldier Program, because it didn't exist when I came in the Army anyways, but it seems like the Future Soldier Program does a little bit more with like community stuff and a little bit more education on the Army, where Delayed Entry Program kind of does a little bit of PT here and there, maybe not as much. So I think it depends on if do you want to do more Army stuff before going into the Army, then probably the Future Soldier Program seems like it's probably better, or Delayed Entry is a little bit less Army stuff. So that's usually how that kind of goes. We got a super chat from Elite Archer, 99 cents. Thanks, man. Thanks for the donation. Question, do you think it would be problematic if someone with motivational issues is bad at verbal communication? Honestly, I'm that slump. I'm really bad at communication for the most part. You talking about like joining the Army if you have motivational issues and kind of verbal communications? I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, you might have certain areas where you're going to struggle with certain things because you're not very outspoken or whatever, but I don't think it's impossible. Hey, what is it like serving in Korea? Korea was fun. I had fun in Korea, getting to tour around and check out a lot of the sites and being in a different country and getting to experience that. Plus also like where I was stationed at, it was a smaller base right on the border of North Korea, right of North and South Korea. And when like USO tours would come through for like celebrities and doing like their little thing, it was since it was such a smaller base, it was a lot easier to get to meet them. Where like the larger bases, when those USO tours would come through with celebrities and bands and everything like that, you had like huge lines and you didn't have a lot of time to kind of interact with them. Where I got to interact with quite a few cool celebrities. Rob Schneider was awesome, he was cool. Drew Carey, he was pretty cool. Chris Isaac, real quick with Twisted Sister, Rudy Giuliani. I got to meet all sorts of cool people when I was there, and plus just kind of hanging out there was awesome and fun. So I'm in the Future Soldier Program right now. Awesome, Brandon. Maybe you'll have to like leave some information down there of what you think of it. What do you think about UFC 234? How did you feel about Anderson Silva now headlining 20 pay-per-views? I didn't actually watch it. I wasn't super interested in the fight card, and I was really busy too, so I didn't get a chance to watch UFC 234, especially with like the main event falling off because of Whitaker getting injured or whatever it was. I think he was injured, right? Yeah, hernia. So then Anderson Silva becoming it, where I feel like Anderson Silva maybe needs to retire. I mean, he just hasn't been the same ever since losing to Chris Weidman. I mean, he was the greatest, and now it's starting to get a little bit depreciated because his performance just isn't the amazing performance he used to have before. Hang on, I'm trying to get back. Reconnecting. Is it back? Still loading on my end, it looks like. Okay, you can see it. Okay, we're back. I don't know what the deal is with that. It actually said it said that OBS, the software that I use, was went offline for a second and then it was reconnecting. But you guys can see me, so it's back. Okay. That was strange. It wasn't the internet. It was like the software that I was using went offline temporarily and then came back. But I still can't see like the preview of what's happening. Let me try refreshing it. I'm just trying to get my some of the stuff going on over here back up, so that I can still see where it's at. And then over here, I don't know if I should refresh this. I'm gonna try to refresh this other thing to see what happens. Hopefully it works. So yeah, we'll get back into chatting and all that stuff. And hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. So hang on, let me scroll back through, see some of the other questions that we had inside here. Let's before we lost it. Ever get to Germany? I've been to Germany as a tourist, but not as a in the army though. Man, the little thing over here. Here we go. I was trying to get my status to come back up. I couldn't see like how the stream status was like. All right. When you're at the highest rank on enlisted, you have to go through, I believe, warrant officer ranks. Then you become an officer? No. So you start off as an enlisted if you don't go through college or anything like that. If you go through college, then you go straight to be an officer. To be a warrant officer, you have to start off usually as being an enlisted unless you're going as a pilot. So it doesn't flow in that same way of going enlisted, warrant officer, officer. It doesn't work that way. You can start off enlisted if you want. You can then go officer while you're enlisted if you want. You can go to the green to gold program, or you can switch to trying to be a warrant officer, but it doesn't go in like that progression. So you don't have to be a warrant officer to become an officer. You can come in the Army straight as an officer if you want by, going to college. So we need a signal specialist. So catching back up of some of the stuff after we lost our stream. I don't know what the deal was with that. It's lame. But yeah, it just said all of a sudden I just noticed it wasn't streaming anymore, and I got a little message that popped up saying OBS had lost connection, reconnecting. So weird. What's the height requirement for males? I think you have to be over 5 foot. You can't be under 5 foot, I think it is. I forget what it is, something like that. Can you be ADHD in the Army? I don't think so. I don't know for sure though. That would be something, maybe it depends on the severity of it. I don't really know too well. You want to become an 11 Bravo Ranger? Well, you just got to go to get the, was option 40 contract if you want to go straight into that. What do you think about the new Army greens? I think they're pretty cool. A lot of people won't like it because it takes a little bit more work to kind of get ready, but I think they look pretty cool. Why did you pick 88 Mike? I just kind of got stuck with it. My plan originally was to be a mechanic, but I didn't qualify for it because I had a partial color blindness. And then they kind of just gave me some options, and 88 Mike just seemed like the better one of the options they were giving me, because my original intent was only to stay in the Army for 4 years, get the experience of being in the military, and then use the college funds to be able to go to college afterwards, because I couldn't afford to go to college before going to the Army, basically. And that ended up being 10 years instead of 4 years, though. So 88 Mike was just the more interesting MOS that I was going to go for. So kind of ended up being something like that. Question, I'm going to basic training in March. Because of my bachelor's and my age, 30, my recruit, okay, Matt chat's like jumping around. My recruiters are telling me to prepare myself for a more leadership role in basic training. What should I expect? So you have college too, you said? Did you say March and bachelor's degree? Yeah. So you're going to come in as a specialist, and yeah, you're going to have some more leadership responsibility. They're probably going to make you a platoon sergeant. We had a couple of people like that when I went through basic training, and I've known people that have been in that situation. So because you're a specialist, you have already had some college education and everything like that. Yeah, they'll probably stick you in a role where you're going to be the platoon sergeant. So you're going to be the one standing in front of that platoon for basic training and answering to the drill sergeants and making sure that everybody is in formation on time and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're going to be kind of practically pretty much forced into leadership for it because of that position a lot of times. So just be ready for that. What are the requirements for RASP? I don't think there's really anything just really other than just being a certain MOS, but there's a ton of MOSs. Almost every MOS in the Army qualifies for being able to go to RASP. But there's not a whole lot of crazy requirements for going to RASP that I can remember. I think you have to do a pre-PT test or something to be able to get in. But I've been binge watching all your Army information videos the past 2 days while I've been sick. Thank you, Awesome Bear. Hopefully they've been informative to you, and hopefully good, knowledge that you're getting out of it. So, how was the Army in your opinion? It was okay. I didn't intend to stay in as long as I did, but the big thing is you need an MOS that you really enjoyed doing. I think maybe if I had an MOS that I enjoyed more, maybe I would have stayed in longer. I was really just kind of settled for whatever I could get when I came in the Army, just to get the experience, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't intend on staying in for as long as I did. So, but it's better if you can, get a job that or something you want to do. When you're an 88 Mike, did you like it or was it a rough job? It was okay. There was rough times, but most of the time wasn't too bad, so I wouldn't say it was really bad. I got a 33 on the practice ASVAB for the Navy, but a 16 on the real ASVAB. Is it true I can join the Army with a 21? So there's the QFT score, if that's what the number you're talking about. And I think it's 25, isn't it, for the Army? I don't remember for sure. If you look it up, it's really easy to Google it and find it. I can't remember what it is. Chris, do you listen to Blink 182? If not, you need to check out the album Dude Ranch. It's the best album of all time. I haven't listened to Blink 182 in a long time, Skechers Kid Gaming. But I like them. They're cool. I like them. Can you go home after Army boot camp? Not usually right after basic training. You're going to have to go on to AIT. Or if you're doing OSIT, then it's going to be all in one. But you're usually doing that first. So you go from basic training to AIT, or you'll just do OSIT, and then after that, most of the time, you will get a little bit of time to go home to be able to move your household goods or whatever you need to move to your first duty station. So you'll get a little bit of time, and then you can sometimes do hometown recruiting too. Hey Chris, I've been updating you recently on my enlistment process, and good news, I passed MEPS. Well, good job, Jacob. Hopefully it works out. Did you get a good MOS? Hopefully you got a good MOS that you'll enjoy doing, and hopefully everything works out well for you. What are you putting in your bag for training? For the baton? I have a weighted vest, and there's like these sandbag weights that go inside of it. So I take those out of the bag and put them in there, and then I also have some other like little ankle weights that are like 3 pounds each or something like that, or 2.5 pounds each. So I add them in there, and then my bag's about 35 pounds for training. But when I actually go to actually do the actual baton road march, I will have probably only 10 or 15 because I'm doing the light, so I'm not required to have 35 pounds. I just want to make sure that I can make the 26 miles before I get all crazy and try to get all gun-ho. But maybe next year, if I like it this year, maybe next year I'll do it again and do the 35 pounds. Why'd you choose Chaos as your name for YouTube? It's the nickname that I've gone with for a very, very long time, from even back in like the late 90s. I created an email account for Hotmail, and I created the email account was like a Christopher Chaos something at hotmail.com. I don't even have that email anymore. It's been removed because I don't use it anymore. But that's where I originally came up with it, and I just stuck with it ever since then, different ways. So I've kept Christopher Chaos ever since. Chris, your music is much better than JT Suits' music. Yeah, he plays weird music sometimes, but good streams. He does good streams. But yeah, his music's sometimes kind of weird. I got the rock. I'm more of a rock kind of guy anyways, so I got to play the rock. It's not too loud, is it? Hopefully it's not too loud. Are you going to do another drug test at boot camp entrance? They can, but like I've never, like when I was in basic training, we never did one in basic. I don't think we ever did one in AIT. It wasn't until I got to my first unit that we started doing drug tests. So probably not. But I think I have heard of some circumstances where they have done it. So I wouldn't say it's impossible. I think it's maybe just a little bit more rare that they do it in basic training. How do MOS work for officers? They don't really get to pick their MOS like enlisted do. It's more of you go through school, and sometimes based on your degree, they'll put you in something along those lines if you're doing ROTC or whatever you got a bachelor's degree in. Sometimes. A lot of times, like you have to like graduate top of the class for ROTC to be able to choose your job. Otherwise, they're going to basically put you in a job that they feel like you would be good at, and they need officers in those positions. So officers don't really get to pick very well. Chris, have you ever been to, what is it, Voluntold? What? Are you trying to say Voluntold? Is it? I don't think this is a real country, is it? You're trying to trying to get me to say something crazy? I'm going for 19 Delta. Do you have any tips on how I should prepare? I mean, really for any MOS. I mean, for like basic training, you just want to be in good shape. I have that video that I just recently put out not too long ago, 5 different ways to prepare for basic training or even OSIT, and those will still help you. But you're going to get all the training in OSIT for 19 Delta. There's really not a whole lot you can prepare for it, because when you're doing that MOS, you're going to learn how to use the weapon systems, how to operate the Bradley, how to do different, recon missions and everything like that. There's not a whole lot you can really do at this point in that area to prepare for being a 19 Delta. That's going to come along when you go to OSIT. Otherwise, just shoot for those things like I was talking about with the whole preparing from that video. So that's the best I could say. Speaking of road marches, ever caught anyone cheating by stuffing their rucksacks with things like pillows and blankets? Yeah, in Korea we always had to do road marches a lot in Korea, and there was maybe like 1 or 2 times where there were some guys that did that. I don't remember if they got caught or not, but like we were supposed to, when we did that, we were supposed to do, I think it was like 35 pounds, I think it was, when we would do our road marches. And then afterwards, they would randomly select some people to do a layout and see what they had inside their bags. And they wouldn't really necessarily weigh them because they didn't have a scale right there. So they wouldn't usually go that far, but they would pick them up and see how heavy they felt and then see what was inside of them and everything like that. But I don't remember if any of the guys I remember doing that, where they put pillows and blankets in their bags to make them look really full, ever got caught. Where do you go? Do they still have MOS of 96 Bravo? I'm not sure. Don't know. Do you go to Airborne during basic training? No, so that's a thing you have to volunteer for, either get in your contract or whatever, and that would be something that would be after basic training. You go to Airborne school. So if a female soldier somehow got pregnant during a long AIT, would she get kicked out, or how would they work that out? So you're not supposed to be engaged in that kind of stuff in basic training or AIT. So if someone came up pregnant in AIT, I don't know if they would kick her out. I mean, maybe. There's a chance they probably would, because she's not gonna be able to finish AIT. So yeah, there's probably a good chance they would probably kick her out. So you'd probably get like a general discharge probably. That's probably what it ended up being. For deployments, they've said I could go to Alaska, Fort Bragg, and other statesides. As for overseas, Germany, Italy, France, and since I'll be military intelligence, England were possible. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, so if you're doing intelligence, I missed. You probably said what MOS you were doing earlier. I probably missed it. But if you're doing intelligence, and you're gonna go to was it Fort Huachuca for AIT? So, good deal, man. When you get stationed for your first post, can you attend any other MOS school, such as like mixed martial arts classes? Well, mixed martial arts classes isn't an MOS school, but if you're looking to like switch to another job, not really. And sometimes you can get additional identifiers, is what they're called, and later do some of that kind of training, but not and kind of add like a little extra MOS to it, kind of a thing. But mixed martial arts training, that's combatives in the Army, and that's usually something you can volunteer to try to do. You can try to get combatives. Can you get married while in the Army? Of course you can. Did you get any Article 15s? If so, what did you do? No, I didn't. I'm good. No Article 15s while I was in the Army, so I kept my nose clean. Have you ever been in combat? Well, I've been in 2 combat deployments, not necessarily direct combat situations while on those combat deployments, though. Did you watch that movie? Yes, I did. Most of it. I didn't watch all of it because I didn't have time to watch the whole thing, but yeah, I started watching it. So talking about the first nuclear explosions and some of the sanctions they had to do to try to stop people from testing, nuclear weapons and all the effects on it. So I watched some of it. It was interesting. It sounded like I didn't catch on the credits. It sounded like William Shatner possibly narrating it. But yes, I did. So thank you. I finally got a chance to watch most of it. So I was watching here and there while I was doing some stuff the other day. So I got to check it out. Elite Archer, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Have a good time. Can you go to basic? Wait, can you go from basic to AIT, OSIT, to Airborne School, to Ranger School, to Raspel Rangers? Okay, so if you were trying to go to the Rangers, the path would end up being either basic training or OSIT, and then AIT if you're doing basic training. I don't actually believe that Airborne is actually required for Ranger. Oh yeah, it is. For Rangers? Yeah, it should be required. So then I think you have to go to Airborne School, and then you go to RASP. Ranger School is something if you're going through the RASP option to get into the 75th Rangers, Ranger School is not something you really have to do until you're going to either become an officer, or if you're going to be a non-commissioned officer. So you're going to have to go and request for that later on to go to Ranger School. but it's not going to be something you'll do right off the bat for Ranger School. RASP is very similar, maybe a little harder probably, I would imagine, than Ranger School is. So kind of the order goes, but if you check out my video, I document it or talk about it a little bit better, I think. Are there any perks to going to West Point over OCS and ROTC? Well, West Point would be harder to get because it's, really, an elite kind of college that you have to go to. So that makes it kind of difficult to be able to get that one. But I mean, the advantages, not a whole lot. I mean, once you're an officer, you're an officer. I mean, you might get a better education going to West Point compared to maybe ROTC. I guess it just depends on what college you go to in ROTC. And then OCS is just, going to become an officer if you've already gone to college. So we had a guy in basic training platoon by the name of Richard Whiskey, but most of us called him Dick Licker. It's horrible, horrible, Doug. Horrible. Man keeps skipping my question, so this does not help. Well, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that also need help, and if I miss your questions, then hopefully I get to them later, or you come back and leave a comment. But you can't get all butthurt if I don't get to your question. There's what is there? How many people is there? 36 of you in here. Sometimes 36 of you are all chatting at one time, so sometimes I miss your questions. So it happens. If you're the type of person that's gonna get your feelings hurt over it, you're in the wrong stream, pal. Wrong type of stream. How long's tonight's stream going? I'm going to go for a run and hope the stream is still on when I get back. Depends on how long it's gonna take you to do the run. I mean, the stream says I've only been going for about 30 minutes, but haven't I been going longer than that? I don't know if that's since the reset, since it glitched out, but I don't know. Probably for another 30 minutes, maybe still, possibly. So we'll see. Is a 4-year contract the minimum? No. You can get it's really hard to get. You can get like it's like a 2.5-year contract. It's a little tough to get. And that's kind of the minimum one they kind of do. It's called a 2-year contract, but it really doesn't start the 2 years until after you're doing like basic training and AIT. So that time doesn't, so it ends up usually being about 2.5 for your minimum. But those are really hard to get. So usually I would say a 3-year would probably be more realistic for possibly getting, but the common one is a 4-year contract. So what should I do for dinner? Spaghetti or oatmeal? What's up with you guys always asking me for dinner suggestions? Oatmeal doesn't sound like a very good dinner, by the way. That doesn't sound like it's very fulfilling. So I'm gonna have to go with spaghetti. Chris, if a female was the Girl Scouts, does she enter the Army at a higher than E1? Only if she got all the way to the, what is it, I forget what the highest thing, like the Boy Scouts have the Eagle Scout. I forget what the girls have. So it depends on whatever it is that they have that you can get the highest in. And then you can go and come in at the max. I think E3, I think is the max that they could bring you in at, or E2, I forget. So they can come in higher than E1 if they make it all the way to that far. So when you get to the first post, how long will it take for me to bring my wife and daughter to my post? Recruiter says it depends for EMFMP program entry if they are going to be in my orders. So yeah, I guess it sort of depends on where you're getting stationed. If you're getting stationed stateside, then it should be pretty much right away. After you go and get done with basic training AIT, you typically get maybe like a week or two, maybe a little bit longer if you're doing like the hometown recruiting option, to go home and be able to get all your household goods shipped out and then move your family, and you'll be able to move your family right then and there, and then bring them with you when you're first reporting to your first duty station. Now, if you're going to get stationed overseas, then yeah, that one can kind of depend a little bit on if it's a like a company tour or non-company tour for that assignment. So yeah, it will depend a little bit. For the most part though, if it's stateside, it should be pretty much right after you're doing AIT and basic kind of a thing. Is there an 8-year contract? No, I think a 6, either a 5 or a 6, I think is the max that they do. I don't think they do more than 5 or 6. So pizza or tacos? Tacos. Tacos are good. That's what I would think I would go with that. I have to go to MEPS next week. Do you have any tips? For MEPS, MEPS is boring. I mean, there's not really much you can do for tips for MEPS. Just expect it to be really boring. An all-day event. It's going to take all day. It's just going from station to station, doing different little tasks. And then you have to do a drug test. You have to do a little physical. You have some things you have to fill out, some documents. And then at the end, then you sit down with somebody and they go over what MOSs will be available to you based on your score, based on your physical, based on eligibility for MOSs to have slots for, and all that kind of craziness. So that will kind of play into it. But yeah, just that's the best I can say is expect it to be an all-day thing. That's the best tip. Pizza with taco as toppings. I've done taco pizza. So we had it one summer where me and the girlfriend were making a bunch of crazy like barbecue pizzas where we would go and like make different crazy toppings. And one of them was a taco one where we would barbecue the pizza, but the toppings were like hamburger meat, lettuce, cheese, basically the stuff you would have on a taco, but it was on a pizza, and that worked pretty good. I think that one was one of my favorite ones, I think. No, the breakfast one. The breakfast one was my favorite one. We made a breakfast pizza where we had cheese, egg, bacon, I think sausage or something too, and that was a really good pizza. So do you recommend doing Air Force ROTC if there isn't any space in the Army ROTC? It really just depends on what you want to go for. From what I know of the whole situation, if you're going Army ROTC, then that's to go into the Army. If you're doing Air Force ROTC, that's to go into the Air Force. So I think from what I understand of ROTC, it depends on what branch of the military you want to go in as far as what ROTC you need to do. Because at a certain point, I know with Army ROTC, after about your second year, sometimes it depends too, they're going to ask you to make a commitment to an Army contract. So I don't think you can just do Army ROTC for the fun of it, just to get that experience. No, it's going to bring you at some point to have you make a commitment to the military. So sushi pizza here in New York City sounds gross, but I'm not a fan of sushi anyway. So so I wouldn't be a fan of that kind of thing. Anyways, would you re-enlist when the Space Force gets created? No. I'm not interested in Space Force or any of that kind of thing. Isn't a Taco Bell chalupa basically a taco wrapped in pizza dough? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had that. Usually when I go to Taco Bell, I get the quesadilla with some soft tacos. Or I like the Doritos Locos are pretty good. It's authentic Mexican food. Really, real Mexican food right there. Favorite flavor, Rockstar, original. I like the original ones. I just get the regular original flavor is probably my favorite. Do you have a dark sense of humor? Sometimes. I guess so. I guess it depends on how dark we're talking. If we go too dark, I don't know about that. Yeah. High school or college ROTC? Well, so high school is JROTC. College is ROTC. There's usually kind of different terminologies with that kind of a thing. Are there any other commissioned methods besides the main three? They have a battlefield promotion, but there hasn't been a battlefield promotion to go like from enlisted to an officer since I think Vietnam or the Korean War or something like that. So there hasn't been any, but pretty much those three are the three main methods of doing it: ROTC, OCS, or West Point. It's pretty much your pretty much almost, I would say, probably only methods really, since battlefield commissions isn't a thing anymore. About the earlier minute contract time. Don't you do 2 years? It's a ripoff. Do 3 years, better benefits, and only 6 MOS or 6 months longer than a 2 year. Yeah. So I think, like I said, I think the 2 year one is really rare to even get, anyways. It really depends on the circumstance. So 3 years is usually the more of the smaller one that most people end up getting if they go for that. So we're at 24 likes right now, about a little bit past halfway into the stream. The goal of the live stream is to get to 50 likes. So if you're here in the live stream enjoying it thus far, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can try to get to 50 likes before the live stream ends. Do they have programs you can join before you ship out to basic training if you already graduated high school? Yeah, they have those, the Future Soldier program or the Delayed Entry program. So you can do those different programs to be able to kind of get a little bit of experience, learn some stuff, do a little bit of Army PT style before you ship off and all that stuff. So workout time, I'll see you in a bit. We'll have a good one. Was it Sparks? I'll go with that one. How was Fort Riley? I hated it. I didn't like Fort Riley. Some people will like Fort Riley, some people won't like Fort Riley. The main thing with Fort Riley is that it's really geared only to people who like the outdoors, which I like the outdoors for the most part, but that's not all I like to do. So like in Fort Riley area is great for like people who like to hunt, fish, spend time on the lake, and that kind of thing. It's not, you know, if you want to go to like concerts and do a lot of the stuff that I like that you have in a big city, there's not that option there in Fort Riley. And then it's really flat. It can get pretty cold sometimes. Like you get like this freezing rain with the wind that'll like freeze the whole left side of your car, right side of your car, whatever. So I wasn't a fan of Fort Riley, but for someone who probably likes hunting and fishing and all that stuff like that, it's probably a great place to probably be stationed. So, hey Chris, thinking of joining Army Cadets, then later join the Army Reserves. Join the Army, so you're going to go through ROTC and then go to the Reserves. Awesome. Good luck to you. Hopefully it works out for you then, I guess. Good luck. I'm enlisting in the Army, or you responding to somebody? Or maybe I'll enlist in the Marine Corps Reserves and then go Army after one contract. Skechers Kid Gaming, you're going to go to the Marines? No, I don't care. I always tell people, you know, you just got to go for whatever branch, you know, you'd be more interested in, has the job you're most interested in. Being able to fly escort missions for Air Force One sounds cool. If I'm in the top of the class, there's a good chance I can be a part of the president's dining staff. I do Air Force Air Force before contract. Yeah, that'd probably if you could score some sweet deal like that, I'm sure that's pretty cool. Do you have any tips for future 88 mic? I don't really know. I mean, everything you're, like I've said for a lot of people before, is, you know, for specific MOSs, sometimes there's not really a lot you can do to prepare for that MOS, because you're going to get pretty well prepared for it once you end up going to AIT and everything like that. So I don't know, just basically tips just for basic training, you know, the videos that I have for some of the ways to prepare. Otherwise, as an 88 mic, I mean, no, I mean, hey, heads up, tomorrow's video will apply to you though. For MOS Monday. There's a little spoiler for you. How to become railway in Army. There's an MOS for that. It's an 88 series. It's an 88 hotel or something like that, I think. So, something like that. Why aren't there any forts in California? There used to be. There used to be Fort Ord and another one, but those Army installations have shut down back in like the 80s. So there is there's Fort Irwin. So I think Fort Irwin is basically the only military installation for Army, anyways, because there's Air Force and Marines. But Army installations, there's Fort Irwin in California, so near Barstow. So there is that one still. How soon do you think you'll hit 35,000 subscribers? My guess is by July. Well, I'm at 32 now, 31, 35. I mean, right now it's kind of slowed down. They have like, it's a lot of ups and downs sometimes with being a person on YouTube, kind of a thing. So some months are better than others. I think right now I'm at pace for 1,500 a month, which is down from like some of the previous months. So hopefully some of the other new videos coming out soon will pick that up again, and we'll get back to over 2,000 a month. I think July of last year was really good, where I was getting like 3,000 a month, so I was doing pretty good. So I don't know. I would hope probably sooner than July for 35,000, but you never know. You never know. Just kind of depends on a lot of different factors. Are you self-taught with your tech skills, or did you learn this in the Army? No, it's all just self-taught stuff. So, yeah, I think just kind of most of the stuff figuring out on my own, especially like video editing. I mean, I went to school for it, so it helped me refine certain things when I went to school for like video production stuff. But all that stuff beforehand, I just kind of figured it out on my own and kind of self-taught a lot of that stuff. But yeah, and then thank you, by the way, for that comment that showed me the path for the baton. You sent me that little link in that comment that I saw earlier, and I shared it with my friend David, who's doing the thing with me, to show him what the course looked like, and we were talking about it earlier. So thanks for sharing that link. Railway jobs are only in the Army Reserves. Keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, because there is a MOS for it. A lot of the railway stuff that I did like on active duty usually was done by civilians. I don't know if there was any military people behind the scenes working on stuff, because you have a railhead at the at installations. Most installations will have a railhead to be able to move and transport items. But most of the stuff I've done when I've done that, I usually working with civilians. But there is military people there, but I don't know if they are what the deal is with them. How did you come up with your logo? I just wanted to incorporate a skull somewhere in the font, so I figured it was a good replacement for the O in Chaos. And then there's a special font that I used that I liked, that I kind of manipulated a little bit to tweak it the way I like it. So it was just playing with Photoshop was a lot of it to create the Chaos logo. And I'm wearing a Chaos shirt today, so there you go. Available at ChristopherChaos.com/store. I'm working on some new ones too. I got some really cool ones I want to be able to do. So hopefully pretty soon I'll have some new shirts to be able to design. That'll be really awesome. So, can a new soldier be stationed in an Air Force base? You can, because there is a lot of times Army personnel stationed on Air Force bases. It's a pretty hard thing to get, to be able to request to try to do. But yes, because there are some Army units that do some things on base, on an Air Force base. So it's possible. Was it howdy Chris? Sorry I'm late, bro. Well, thanks for stopping in anyways, Walter. I don't care if you're late. Doesn't matter to me, but I'm glad you're here. So thanks for coming in. Hey Chris, think we left off at nachos last time. What's up, Paul? I didn't have any nachos recently. Nachos are awesome though. What type of drone do you use to make your videos? I haven't used a drone in my videos in a little while, but I have two drones. I have a DJI Maverick Air, and I have a GoPro Karma. Typically, the more recent videos was with the Mavic Air, and a little bit farther back was the Karma. Both are pretty good, but the Karma is really big and bulky, so it's easier to carry around the Mavic. But I lost the charger for it, so I either got to find the charger for it, for the battery, or buy a new charger. But I haven't really needed to shoot anything with the drone recently. Someone has suggested that I use the drone in some of my workout video stuff, but a lot of times where I'm working out, I can't do it, because a lot of times some of it's on base, like during my lunch break, and you can't fly a drone on a military installation. And then like that last workout that I did in that last episode, it was super windy, so I definitely wouldn't be able to do it then. And sometimes also too, it just takes more time, because I'm trying to get a good rhythm and get a good pace going on my march. I can't stop to deploy a drone and get some footage and then bring it back down and grab it and put it away and then continue doing my workout. So also for that reason, it doesn't work for it. But those are the two drones I have. I just haven't really used it in my videos recently for a while. Weird I didn't get the notification. Oh man, I thought about going back to scheduling them, but sometimes I like doing these spur of the moment ones. I need to start maybe going back to try scheduling these live streams, so that way you guys have a heads up and can get set the reminders for them, and maybe that works better. So maybe next weekend, maybe I'll schedule that one out, so that way you guys have a little bit more of a heads up as to when that one will come up. That's a good merch idea. Which merch idea? Oh, there's someone else gonna. Oh, have you thought about making a Chaos flags? I could. It'd probably just look like that. I mean, I don't know. I have a Chaos flag T-shirt, and I can make that flag a flag, like the actual flag that I kind of created for that T-shirt, just to try it out, into an actual flag, and that could be available on the merch store. Maybe it's a test thing. Merch doesn't really sell very well. I'm not big enough that people give a crap about buying Chaos merch. It's available. It's on like I said, ChristopherChaos.com/store on my website. Sometimes there's a little thing at the bottom for a shelf for Teespring to buy from there. But merch doesn't really sell very well for me, so sometimes I mean, I can come up with 100 ideas, but I might be lucky to sell only maybe like 1 or 2 shirts once in a great while. So, but yeah, those are available. What's the emoji in the background? Oh, that little guy? He's a Bluetooth speaker. It's a Bluetooth speaker that I have. I haven't even used the thing in a long time, but it still sits there on my desk. I totally buy a chaos flag, then I could hang it up in the barracks. Yeah, that'd be awesome, Jacob. That'd be sweet. Maybe I'll try it out. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of things I want to try out. Your comic book you made, is that an app you used? I thought that was so cool. I'm a teacher, and my students would get a kick out of it if I could do that. Oh, a kick out if I could do that. Yeah. So yes, I use a combination of 2 apps on my phone. So to make the photo, I use Clips, which is a Apple app that comes on iPhones. Well, it doesn't really come on it, but you can download it from the Apple Store. It's made by Apple though, but it's called Clips, and that through a filter in there, there's like a comic book and ink and different type of filters, and that made the image. And then to make it like in the format of a comic book, then I have another app that I use. Let's see, what is it called? I'll help you out, and I can tell you what it's called. That one is called Strip Design. So that one is a little app through the App Store. I think it was a free app too, I don't remember. But it's called Strip Design, and that one is what I use to make the comic book format. And I talked about it when I did the gaming live stream. I might try it out. I might try doing like some kind of comic book kind of a thing for fun. Maybe something where like it's a Patreon thing where you can go and maybe pay a certain amount on the Patreon thing, and that allows you to get this comic like once a month or something like that. But it just depends. I don't know. It might be kind of a fun thing to try out. Maybe we'll see. How do you become a drill sergeant? You have to go to drill sergeant school. Usually, most commonly, drill sergeants are staff sergeant and above. But if they're really in need of drill sergeants, then they'll pull from E5s and have sergeants get sent to the school, and they'll go to the special school to become a drill sergeant. So it's usually around that time frame when you're a non-commissioned officer that you might come up on orders, basically sending you, telling you, hey, you have to be a drill sergeant, and they'll send you. So, curious, what privileges did you have in AIT, such as overnight passes? Do these privileges still vary based on AIT length? Yeah, it's going to really based on your AIT length. Shorter ones usually get less privileges, where longer ones will get a little bit more freedom and privilege, because they don't want them going nuts just being confined for that long of a time. My AIT at the time for 88 Mike was 5 weeks at that time. So we got 2 weekend passes, one at the very beginning when we first showed up for AIT, where we got a weekend pass and we had to stay within the immediate area, and then one more about halfway through, I think it was, where they did that. And then a lot of times, like on the weekends, we'd be allowed to go to the PX. But for the first like week or two, we had to stay in the media area, so you could only go to the little shopette that was right across the street. And then after the weeks went on, then you got to go a little farther. So the longer AITs usually get a little bit more weekend passes, because they'll get every so many weekends or whatever. They'll get a weekend pass, not every weekend probably, but they'll get certain ones and a little bit more privilege then. So it works that way. Make a car magnet, Chaos one. A car magnet, you could, probably make a magnet. Specifically a car magnet, like that big. I don't know if I'd be able to do it that way. It'd probably be a little pricey for people to buy one. I sleep during the day, so schedule would work for me, so I can wake up for the stream. Oh, yeah, so there you go. So yeah, for the next weekend one, maybe I'll schedule it out. I have 2 Chaos shirts. They're great. Well, thanks, Jada Vorn. It's because you're awesome. That's why you have 2 Chaos shirts. So thank you, though, for the support. It should be big buying Chaos merch. What do you mean it should be big? It should be a big thing? I don't know. Not a lot of people want to buy it. I think maybe since I've started having Chaos merch, maybe 10 people out there have Chaos shirts. I don't know. So, have you seen, or have you set det cord off? No, I've never set any det cord off. What's your favorite rifle? M4, I guess. Does this song have lyrics in the background? It sounded like the song had lyrics in the background. I always feel like that makes it kind of weird and stuff. I guess it does a little bit. The song sounds awesome though. I need to kind of favorite this thing. Maybe use it for something else. Oh, the track already exists in my... Alright. I already favorited that song before. Haven't watched the streams in a long time. Well, thanks for coming in and stopping in to hang out. Favorite Army cadence? Yellowbird, C-130 rolling down the strip. Any other? I don't know if I have a favorite one. I don't know. Do you have a Facebook page? I do. Oh, wait, there's no, yeah, there's a link thing right. If you look for Christopher Chaos on Facebook, there's a Facebook page. I mostly use Instagram, and a lot of the stuff that posts on Facebook comes from my Instagram, but how about a Chaos brand NASCAR? Yeah, that'd be a little tough. And very expensive, I would imagine. 3:18 a.m. in the morning for you now. Holy crap! Yeah, it's 7:19 here. Actually, we're getting close. Almost time to get rid of to stop the live stream. Chaos whoopee cushions, getting crazy now. Chaos PT belts would be kind of cool, but I don't really know what anybody would do with those. I don't feel like that'd be very practical use if anybody needs it. So I don't know about that. Yeah, Owen with a super chat's gonna pop up on the screen. There you go. Bam, and the lights are blinking for you for awesomeness. I'm buying some Chaos merch maybe tomorrow when I'm off. Well, thank you, Owen. You're awesome. Hopefully you find a great shirt that you enjoy, and will be an awesome shirt. What's your most anticipated movie coming out this year? I think I don't know. The Shazam one, I'm really interested in that one. But I like the Avengers movies, so like Endgame will be really cool. I don't know, probably Endgame though. That one seems pretty cool. Support the brand and stay safe at the same time. Oh, for the PT belt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about a Chaos PT belt. If I had the money, I'd get a Chaos shirt. Well, that's cool, Skechers Kid Gaming. I still appreciate people being here, so not a big deal. 9mm badass. Sorry I'm late. Well, you better knock out some push-ups, man, for being late. No. Thanks for joining in. You're probably kind of late to the stream because probably only maybe about 5 minutes or so left of the stream. So the new screensaver looks awesome, by the way. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wanted. We'd been watching a lot of that show called Arrow, and all their computers have this cool little techie ridiculousness happening. And I was like, that'd be a cool screensaver. So I was trying to find some, and it was actually hard to find anything that was worth a damn. They would work on multiple monitors as well. There was a couple that looked pretty cool, but they didn't work on multiple monitors. So then I was like, screw it. I'm gonna figure out how to make my own screensaver. So I did a little research, figured it out how to make my own screensaver using a couple different programs, and made a Chaos screensaver. So it has the Chaos logo in the middle with like a bunch of techie stuff going on. Looks like the computer is computing a bunch of stuff, and the Chaos logo every now and then kind of glitches and moves, and then my face occasionally glitches on the screen and pops up too. And I just thought it was kind of a fun little screensaver that kind of makes it look like something high speed was going on inside my little office in here when the screensavers are on. So I made my own screensaver, and it's pretty cool. Where's Edward? He was here earlier. He was asking questions about ROTC. He might still be in here and just not talking. I don't know. Have you seen the trailer for the movie based on the WWE wrestler? It's called Fighting With My Family. Yeah, it looks kind of interesting. I know my girlfriend wants to see it, so I don't think we'll go to theaters to see it, but maybe like when it comes out on TV, on Netflix or whatever to stream, then I'll probably check it out. It looks interesting. Not like going to the movies interesting, but yeah. Arrow's a great show. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We're still pretty far behind. I think we're on. I don't watch all the episodes. My girlfriend's been watching all the episodes. I catch a few here and there. I think she's on like season 5 right now, or something like that. So I think she still has a couple more seasons to go. Was it Christopher Chaos versus Matt Ward for UFC 235? Yeah, right. Matt Ward's in pretty good shape. I don't know. I mean, I have the combatives training. I don't know if he has combatives training, but he's in probably a lot better shape, so he probably has a lot better cardio than me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it works out good for me. Have you ever grouped up with any foreign forces? I talked about it before in one of the videos. I did a little bit of stuff with like Swiss, and then when I was in Korea, the ROK Korean Army guys. So that was about it for that. So we got 5-ish minutes or so before we're gonna cut it off. So before we do so, if you did not know, I do have a PO box. So if you go and look in the description down below, this has that same address as well. Or even if you go to any of my other videos, it has the PO box down there. In there, you can send me a letter to say what's up, or if you want to send me a self-addressed envelope with a stamp on it, then I'll send you back a Chaos sticker, as long as I still have Chaos stickers. I still have quite a few, so I bought quite a big bulk of them, so I still got a good handful of them and stuff. So I'll have those available if you want to send me a letters or whatever. Send me rock stars. That would be awesome too if you want to send me rock stars. Just don't send anything illegal that's not supposed to be being sent over the mail, please. That'd be helpful. I've never had that, but I don't think that would be good for you to be doing that kind of thing. Plus, also, I briefly talked about it where I put in the community kind of section of YouTube. I'll probably post more about it on Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff when we get a little closer. But when I go down to New Mexico for the Baton Memorial Death March, Road March thing that I'm doing in March timeframe, I'm going to probably do a little meetup for anybody who's interested in that. So look for that. It'll be March, what is it? It'll be March 15th. It'll be a Friday. So do a little thing in El Paso, Texas. So if anybody's in that El Paso area and wants to come hang out for a little bit, I'll have more information on it pretty soon. Mark, thanks for subscribing and joining the Chaos Army. So, found you on Facebook and Instagram. Well, good. I have both of those. Is it good to be, was it stocky? Is that what it's supposed to be? Maybe in the Army? I don't know. If that's what you're trying to say. I mean, if you're too big, even if you're really muscular, sometimes it can cause problems because you're always gonna have to get weighed and taped. You have to get taped and figure out, how big, if you're within standards still. So that kind of makes it kind of a pain. So, what part of the Army you been in? What part of the Army? Active duty Army? I don't know which I'm about. What part of the Army? I was active duty Army. Chaos brand energy drinks, that would be pretty cool. Imagine that'd be a lot of work. You probably have to get that cleared through the FDA. Yeah. But Chaos, that'd be cool. Like have a cool can that's got the Chaos logo on it. That'd be sweet. Maybe one day if the channel got really big and I could afford to do that kind of high level stuff and it was something that people were actually interested in, and I don't know what, like I said, you probably have to go through the FDA for that stuff. I don't know. But that'd be pretty sweet. Oh, Jesse's here in the chat. Says, your baby said, "Look, Daddy. Night, Daddy." Oh, she's getting ready to go to bed. Well, I'm about to end the live stream here pretty soon, Jesse. So if she's still awake when I get done here, I'll come say goodnight to my daughter. Jesse stopped in the live stream. Almost missed your question in there. Would the relationship change between friends that are already in the military and are a high rank once you enlist as a soldier? If you're already in a relationship and then you were a civilian and your significant other was an enlisted soldier and then you came in as an officer, it might be okay because you already were in that relationship prior to, but it also might be a thing where you'd have to get married prior to for them to not make a deal out of it. So I don't know, it kind of depends, I think, on how that works. So finished watching the movie. It shows Colorado stuff. Oh, for that DVD thing? Yeah, I think when I was looking at it, it was showing New Mexico and was it Nevada? Was another part that I saw where he was talking about stuff in New Mexico from White Sands and everything. What is the highest rank you have to become a leader? You can become a leader at any level. Really, it just depends on your role. I mean, you could be a leader as a specialist, as an E4, just if you're in that kind of a leadership position. So that just kind of depends. Miguel, what's happening? Chaos brand water, bottled water. Yeah, see, I don't drink water. I feel like that's bad. You gotta have something that I would support. So I don't think that'd be a good idea to have bottled water since I don't drink water anyways. I'll be sure to ask my question about basic training I have before I leave in April. Good luck to you in April. But the real question is, what would the Chaos energy drink taste like? I don't know. Be maybe like I don't know. I like the taste of Rockstar, but you wouldn't want to copy the same flavor. So I don't know. I guess you'd have to have like some kind of cool flavors though. But you have to have an original flavor, like the original. I don't know. I don't know what it would taste like. It probably tastes like Rockstar though, even though I can't probably copy Rockstar. What about a Glock made by Christopher Chaos? Yeah, I don't know about that. Chaos sponsored by Rockstar? I wish. That'd be awesome. I get like Rockstars all the time. I don't drink water? Not really, no. I drink a lot of things that have water in them, but straight up water? I don't, no. Hey, this song right here is the beginning of 2 Minute Tuesday video. The 2 Minute Tuesday intro song. So we're going to cut it off here in a minute. I'll answer maybe a couple of extra questions that aren't related to a Chaos brand M1 Abrams or Monopoly board. If you have an army question, I'll take the next one that populates up in there, and then that'll be the end of the stream for this weekend. And then check out tomorrow. We get MOS Monday, 2 Minute Tuesday. I have a Wednesday video that the few Patreon members are probably going to get early access to, because I'm going to throw that together probably tonight. So you guys will have access to that pretty soon. And then as soon as YouTube freaking gets their head out of their ass and gets me my dang sponsorship availability, then that'll add some awesome perks to be able to do that. So, let's see. This looks like an army question. Let's see. What do the Boy Scouts do for you in the army? Wait, Boy Scouts don't do anything for me in the army, so that's not really an army question. Come on, there's got to be an army question in here. Jay the Born's leaving. You're abandoning. Got one last question I was looking for. My final 2 MOS choices are Cavalry Scout and Cannon Crewman. What do you think is the best? We're going to go with that. That is the last question that we're going to answer here. Cannon Crewman or Cav Scout? I feel like it'd be more exciting to be a Cav Scout, be a 19 Delta. I feel like you'd be more exciting. So like artillery person, you're going to be behind the lines. You're going to be, you know, firing some rounds, and that's probably pretty cool. But as a Cav Scout, you'd be in the Bradley. You're doing recon. So I feel like a Cav Scout would probably be more exciting. I feel like that'd be probably better. So there you go. What did the stream get to? We didn't quite make that 50 mark. If you want to go ahead and hit that like, go ahead and hit that like. Maybe afterwards it'll go past 50. But we didn't make that 50 likes that I was hoping for by the end of the stream. But that's cool. We're working on things. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of Chaos Live, hanging out for the 41st episode. I'm going to probably schedule out the next one so that way you guys get a little bit more of a heads up, and we'll see how that improves on things. Maybe that's a little bit better for some people or not. I don't know. But thanks for hanging out anyways. Either way, hopefully you had a good time. If I did not get to your question, don't be like that one guy and get all butthurt and all upset because I didn't see your question. Sometimes the chat moves pretty quick and I can't see them all. But come back to this video after it's processed. Leave a question in the comment section, and if I know the answer to the question, I might be able to answer that question in that comment section down there. But otherwise, thanks for hanging out. You guys rule. I will see you guys next time. See ya.